all about finding the individual, the right treatments for every person. So I see this in Chinese medicine. You get 10 people with a migraine and all 10 different treatments. Because everyone is different. You have to find what works for you. Part of my journey was finding the treatments that worked for me. And lastly, before I talk about my experience, why should we care about health anyway? I mean, I imagine it's a pretty hot topic. I don't know if anyone's heard anything about healthcare. A few changes going on in the healthcare system. But some people have said, I just want to spend more time with my family. Anybody can relate to that? I just want to feel better. Or I just want peace of mind. I want my mind to leave me alone. So there's all different reasons that we want to feel healthy. But for me, simply, I came to the realization that without my health, I couldn't really do much else. I mean, it's hard to catch a football when you're running down the field and you're falling asleep. Or, you're in a fight when I used to box, and, your mind is just not all there, and your reaction time is slow. So, for me, it was being able to do the things that I love, and also being able to spend time with my friends and family members. So, really bumped it up on the priority list for me. Doing good here, only a couple more hours. So, I would just like to tell a little story called My Holistic Experience. I always considered myself to be a very health-conscious person. I was involved with martial arts and healthy eating, thanks to my amazing brother, as well as the encouragement of other people in my family. I wrestled, boxed, and I was training for cage fighting. Mixed martial arts was my latest craze. So, however, I always struggled with chronic fatigue, severe memory loss, and emotional as well as chronic pain. Just never felt all completely right. But as you know, our bodies adapt, and we get used to a certain level of functioning. But I always knew that I could do more and I could feel better. And somehow my body was like holding me back. So all my lab tests were normal growing up. Learned a few things about allergy testing, different blood tests we can get, which are very beneficial. But I ate my organic peanut butter, my organic cereal, drank my skim milk, had my protein bars by me at my side every day, my power water, all that good stuff. But the majority of the time, I just didn't feel good. And I couldn't figure out if I was depressed because I was tired, if I was tired because I was depressed. It was like going both ways. So, needless to say, it's caused a lot of social isolation for me. When you can't talk and you're not all there. Sometimes I would just give up. I would think of a joke or a scene in a movie 3 days later, and I'd say, oh, well, that's great. I could have used that 3 days ago when I was talking to a group of people. So it was very frustrating for me. And it becomes a cycle. You get more depressed, you get more social isolated, and then pretty soon, you just go deeper and deeper, farther and farther away from where you want to be. So, as I learned, it's all about perspective. You can either look at what you don't have and ask why, or you can look at what you do have and say thank you. Thank you. Well, halfway there. Stick with this. Hurts not. This is good. So, not having a real diagnosis in conventional medical standards was really throwing me off. Putting me in this constant tug of war. Is there really anything wrong with me, or am I just making all this up? I started questioning my whole search for answers, giving up the hopes of feeling any better at all. And again, our bodies adapt, so I started to just think, maybe this is normal. Maybe this is how we're just supposed to feel. We're supposed to feel tired and without any energy and dead and depressed. And it's part of getting old. I know it's funny, but even interning at the nursing homes, I would see 50, 60, 80-year-olds with more energy than me. I said, something's wrong here. Nothing against them, that's great. But so just like in mental health, there's no real simple black and white test that can be done to diagnose a condition. It can get very confusing and frustrating. So I continue to search for answers, get every test possible done on me. It might add costing myself and my healthcare company a lot of wasted time, effort, and money. So blood test, CAT scan, MRI, sleep study, psychiatric evaluation, allergy testing, skin pricks, everything. But every time, the test would come back negative. And it would just leave me feeling even more confused and more, where do I start? So I went to a psychiatrist, hearing that, maybe it's just chronic fatigue is just a simple symptom of, an imbalance or depression, which a lot of people labeled me as. Either I was depressed or they thought I was on drugs because I was just out of it. So, for me, one of the only people that I knew of that really didn't do drugs, to get labeled in the same category, this was also very frustrating. So, basically, after being convinced that I had depression, I started taking generic form of Prozac, and things were great. I'd wake up at 4 in the morning, go downstairs, lift weights, do my power cleans, my bench presses, my squats. My memory was sharp, my reaction time was super quick. I was feeling amazing in the gym. I could punch quicker, kick faster, but I was still a little skeptical the whole time. It's just not natural. At least not that quick. So then I became so hyped up, it was getting hard to focus in school. So I was prescribed things like amphetamine salts. And this just became this long, vicious cycle of more problems and more side effects. Finally, I caught a nasty virus. It kept me out of school for a whole week. My heart rate was up to 100, and it wouldn't go below 100, so I had to be rushed to the hospital, and I never used to get sick. So I said, something's wrong here.